You've been in the system your entire life. Years of studying, thousands of hours, endless tests, and yet no one ever stopped to tell you what all of this was really building. This is your life at every level of education.
Level 1, Elementary School. You walk into a classroom for the first time. Everything is new. Everything is interesting. Everything feels possible. You ask questions without fear. You imagine without limits. But then the rules appear. Sit down, stay quiet, raise your hand. You start learning something subtle, not written anywhere, but repeated every day. Obedience is rewarded. You get praised for correct answers, not for original thinking. You begin adjusting, not to reality, but to expectations. And without noticing, you stop asking why and start asking, what do they want? That's where it begins. Level 2, Middle School. Now you start looking around. Other students, other grades, other results. Comparison becomes constant. You're no longer just learning, you're being measured. Numbers define you now. You study to pass, memorize to survive, forget to repeat. And still, no one mentions money. No one mentions leverage. Only one sentence keeps echoing. Study hard so you can get a good job. You accept it because everyone else does.
Level 3, High School. The pressure changes. Now it's about your future. One decision, one path, one direction that supposedly defines your life. You're asked what you want to become, but no one explains how the real world actually works, so you choose based on fear, safe options, stable paths, predictable outcomes. Curiosity fades, risk becomes something to avoid, and even when you feel lost, you keep moving because stopping feels like failure. Level 4, College. Now you're fully inside the system. Time becomes an investment. Money becomes part of the equation, sometimes a lot of money. You attend classes, take notes, pass exams. Everything looks right from the outside, but inside, something feels disconnected. You're learning information, but not building leverage. You're gaining knowledge, but not creating value. Still, you continue, because by now, turning back feels impossible. Level 5, First Job Post-College. You finally enter the real world. This is the moment everything was leading to. You get the job, you earn the salary, and for a moment, it feels like you made it. Then reality settles in. Fixed income, limited growth, long hours. You trade your time for money every single day. And then you notice something. People with less education making more than you. That's when the first crack appears. So you go back, because maybe you just need more knowledge. You specialize, you go deeper, you become more qualified. On paper, you evolve. In reality, nothing fundamental changes. Your income is still tied to your time. You're more educated, but not more free. And now you start seeing it. Level 7, PhD level. This is the peak, the highest level of the system. You master complexity. You analyze deeply. You understand structures most people never will. You become an expert. But financially, you're still inside the same game. You realize something quietly. The system made you valuable, but not independent. And this is where everything shifts. The problem was never education. The problem was believing that education alone would create freedom. You learned how to solve problems, but not how to monetize them. You learned how to follow paths, but not how to create your own. Level 9, the truth. There are people with no degrees building wealth,
and people with multiple degrees stuck in cycles. The difference is not intelligence, it's behavior, it's leverage, it's understanding how value connects to money.
Level 10, the shift. Everything changes the moment you ask a different question. Not, what should I study, but what can I build that people will pay for? That's when education becomes powerful, not as a destination, but as a tool.
Somewhere right now, a student opens a notebook, looks at the board, writes down information they'll soon forget. They think this is about passing. They think this is about grades. They think this is about a future that has already been designed for them. They don't see it yet, but they will. Because the system doesn't change. Only awareness does. The question is no longer how far you'll go in education, but whether you'll ever step outside of what it was preparing you for.